How do I not get cancer? Hi there. Let's go ahead and have a chat today about how you can reduce your risk of getting cancer. So, it sounds like a very loaded sentence, but I'm not saying that if you do these things, you're not going to get cancer. Remember, there's always a difference between correlation and causation. But I'm going to talk about three different things. The first two are really kind of cosmetics related, and then the last is diet related. Surprisingly, more than half of all cancers can be prevented through healthy eating and staying active, living a healthy lifestyle. So those things are kind of a given, reducing tobacco use or eliminating tobacco use, wearing sunscreen, stuff like that is things that you hear about more often. So I'm going to try and talk about a few things that maybe you haven't heard before. Be looking into your cosmetic products is because the cosmetic industry uses a lot of synthetic materials, some of which have been correlated with infertility, cancer, and birth defects and offspring. So these are some things that you really want to look out for. Parabens are the main thing that I'm going to be focusing on today. So if you look at the side of your maybe lotion bottle, shampoo, it will say methylparaben, propylparaben, and these compounds have been correlated with breast cancer in particular. Reason being that parabens mimic the same kind of chemical structure as estrogen does in the body, so you're basically overloading your body with excess estrogen. And this goes for men and women. It's not a very healthy thing for either. So chances are you're probably already getting excess estrogen in your body due to the overuse of soy products and a lot of things. But be aware of those parabens, and when possible, try to use products that don't have those in there. Again, if you do use products that have the parabens in them, that doesn't mean that you will get breast cancer, but it might increase your chance of getting breast cancer. So, if possible, stay away from those. One study took samples of several women's breast cancer tumors, and 100% of the samples had parabens in it, which kind of supports this idea that the two are related, and just another reason why you should not use those things. But unfortunately, they're in a lot of stuff. Hang on 1 second, let me go get one. Okay, so you're not going to be able to see this, but just to give you an example, this knockoff Proactive lotion stuff, this has propylparaben in it. So just check out your products, see what you got. Next thing I want to talk about is another sort of breast cancer related thing, in antiperspirants. So a lot of antiperspirants are going to have aluminum, zirconium, something like that in there. This has also been correlated with breast cancer. And so again, trying to not use things that have the aluminum, zirconium in them. I know a lot of people out there, especially as like a fitness professional, I'm generally walking around quite sweaty and smelly most of the time. If at all possible, I do try to avoid using this. I find that using just a regular deodorant, because it's the antiperspirant that the aluminum zirconium is used for. So if you can get away with just using a regular deodorant, maybe like wiping yourself off in the bathroom after a hard workout, things like that might be a better option instead of going for something like this, which is an antiperspirant. I also have this Tom's deodorant stuff, and it's just a deodorant. It's not an antiperspirant, but it's really good. It smells like lemongrass, even though it says unscented. I kind of like it. It's nice. So that's that, and that's a unisex product. On to the last thing I'm going to talk to you about today, and it's a diet-related thing. I first heard about this when I was at the American College of Sports Medicine conference conference in Jacksonville, Florida last year, and I went to this symposium on antioxidants. And they talked about vitamin C. Vitamin C is an antioxidant. Vitamin E is an antioxidant. And they talked about this one that I'd never heard before. I think I'm pronouncing it correctly when I say quercetin or quercetin. It's basically a plant-derived compound. I wrote some notes down here to make sure that I got it right. And it has actually been shown to prevent and maybe even treat lung cancer. And that's really, really great because lung cancer is one of the cancers with the poorest diagnosis a lot of the times, or not diagnosis, what's that other word? Prognosis, there we go. So it is a flavonoid. You know, you've probably seen the Welch's Grape guy talking about flavonoids. Quercetin is one of them. So some foods that are very high in quercetin include apples, tomatoes, green leafy vegetables, onions, grapes, and berries. And they do sell it in a capsule form in a more concentrated amount, which may be a worthwhile thing to buy. I'm not sure. Hopefully you can, try and incorporate, lots of fruits and vegetables into your diet so that you are getting plenty from your diet alone. But if you're not, then maybe the capsule form might be a good option for you. And also the cool thing about this antioxidant is that it builds up. So if you eat an apple one day, you're like, oh, I got my quercetin forever. Not necessarily, but if you eat an apple and then you eat another apple, it will build up and it will provide a protective effect on your body against cancer. Also, quercetin is great if you're training because if you supplement with vitamin C and vitamin E, those can actually reduce your cardiovascular adaptations from endurance training. There's more research about that, and I won't get into that too much, but quercetin does provide the immune system boost without suppressing cardiovascular endurance adaptations. So that's kind of cool. What else do I want to talk about this? It's an anti-inflammatory. That's basically what an antioxidant is. So it's an anti-inflammatory effect on the body. It's also been linked with the prevention and treatment of other types of cancer besides lung cancer, cardiovascular disease, and other disorders. So basically this is a really good thing to have in your diet. So eat lots of fruits and vegetables or take the supplement. One more thing I wanted to talk about. So before I mentioned, eating healthy, exercising, not smoking, all these things are going to help protect you from cancer, but also, obviously, wearing some sunscreen, protect you from skin cancer. But there has been some recent debate over what sunscreens are the best ones. So there's two different kinds of ways to protect yourself with sunscreen. There's a chemical sunscreen, which would be the oxybenzone, anything that begins with the word oxy at the beginning of it, and then there's more physical sunscreens, more natural options like titanium dioxide or iron oxides. So there's some controversy with the oxybenzone. The American Academy of Dermatology says it's safe. On the other hand, the Food and Drug Administration says, if you're over 6 months, it's fine. However, there is some research out there that shows that the oxybenzone might actually accelerate or worsen any sort of skin abnormalities if they're pre-existing. However, the Environmental Working Group states that the oxybenzone is related to hormone disruptions, which could lead to skin abnormalities and skin cancer. So, do your own research on this one. There are plenty of options out there these days that do not have the oxybenzone in them. Even mainstream brands, you don't have to go get some fancy organic brand at Whole Foods anymore. I have one that's Banana Boat, and it just is natural, and it uses the titanium dioxide instead. The titanium dioxide is a little bit harder to rub in because, you know, you get like kind of that whiteness to it. You just have to rub it in a little bit more. But really, if it is going to decrease your risk of cancer, I think it's worth, you know, a little extra time before you go out on the beach. So, hope you enjoyed these tips. Even if you take all the tips that I talked about in this video, there's still the possibility that you could develop cancer. Sometimes the healthiest of healthy people are just dealt a very unfortunate and unlucky hand. One day you might be feeling headaches, lethargy, and then the next day you might be diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. This is actually what happened to my friend's uncle, and it's one of the reasons why I'm particularly motivated to help raise money for the American Cancer Society this year and for my Relay for Life team. If you'd like to support Team HK and help the fight against cancer, check out the link below. Have a great day.